Hello everybody, it's time for another Peteman Reviews episode. Today we are looking at some Micromasters. This is known as the 6 Turbo team, cleverly named because there's 6 of them, and they're all meant to be turbos, though I'm not quite sure how an ambulance and a fire engine are turbos. I guess they've all got fast in that they can get through street lights, but yeah, they don't quite fit in with an F1 car or a Lamborghini, for example. Nevertheless, here we are. So these are the 2002 re-release. You can tell the difference by the fact that these items here have been painted rather than the decals on the original Japanese only release. Nevertheless, they're still relatively hard to come by, as they were only available as individual characters, so you had to literally buy all 6 in order to get the 6 team. So, go through who they are. The F1 car is known as Circuit. The fire truck, Discharge, an unfortunate name, it has to be said. The motorbike, while looking a lot like Groove, is actually called Glide. The Lamborghini Diablo for that matter, is some reason known as Neo Wheel. Yeah, not quite sure where that comes from. The police car is known as Road Police, and according to Transformers Wiki is the team leader. And finally, the ambulance, which is known as Siren, which is to differentiate, I guess, from Siren, the headmaster. Okay, so there we are then. That is the brief rundown of the team. Now, the kibble does transform into a little jet. The idea is you can stick a Micromaster in there. There's just a tiny little tab for the Micromaster to stick in. I suppose it gives you something to use the kibble for, but predominantly, of course, it's used to make the Combiner 16, or 6 Turbo rather. As for the little Micromasters, they are fairly basic. They're not too bad though. I mean, this guy is just a redeco of the sports car patrol guy. And they are quite familiar in terms of shapes. The F1 car is actually quite decent for the period, quite recognisable as I guess really it's a 1989 F1 car with the inlet like that. Fairly reminiscent of the McLaren markings there with the Marlboro red and white. Fire engine, despite being quite clunky, as in it's very, very square, it's actually not too bad with the clever use of the hose highlighted out there. So that's actually quite a decent design. And the actual hose, the ladder, it does swivel like that. Doesn't move up or down, however, but it does swivel. So that's an unexpected bit of articulation, considering the fact that these guys are pretty small and ultimately have one purpose, which is to combine together. So I'll just quickly show you their robot modes. Very simple transformation on all of them, as you would expect from Micromasters. There we go. And then the arms. The arms are disproportionately huge compared to the rest of him. Just look at that. There's huge arms on there. As for the face, it's a bit difficult to say. With all the chrome on it, it looks a bit like both a skull, and I guess technically with the fireman's hat on there, it could be a fireman, but yeah, the skull is kind of weird, but never mind. This guy, well, he is basically, you'd expect it just to be that bit that transforms, but actually it's the whole lot that goes back. I don't think that helps at all, because you now have that sticking out like there, which looks a bit silly. It will go all the way back there, but you kind of expect there to be another hinge here. I guess it's production levels, so that it's cheaper just to have one piece that folds back like that. Again, with the arms. So, not bad, not bad. F1 car. Goes like that. This bit does have some movement. You don't need it for the robot mode, but you do need it for when he combines. This whole bit just flips down like that. Somewhat stubby arms, but with the rounding on there, it's actually quite effective how those arms work. But again, you are left with this huge bit here, which is now sticking out. We'll see how well that. It means you have to kind of have him standing just a little bit forward to balance him out. Our motorbike. So, flips like that. This part here flips down to reveal there's the head all the way back there. And the arms, well, I think this one's probably the worst of the ones that we've seen so far, because this part here flips down like that. It's so large that actually the arms are level with his chest anyway. You have to have his arms up to even know that they're there, and then the head is quite a long way back. So yeah, perhaps the least effective of them all. And then you've kind of got, you have him straight like that, but you can see it's fairly unbalanced. Let's see how he stands. Actually, yes, he's more balanced than I expected it would, but I think that's probably the least effective of the ones we've looked at so far. On to our police car. Down like that. Again, you notice the whole transformation there. Copied directly, of course, on the Lamborghini, but you would expect there to be another thing there, so that it just flips down like that, rather than there. Never mind, that there. Like that. The silver, I think, there works particularly good. It kind of looks like he's got a police hat on, though it's not the most effective or fear-inspiring. I know it's an Autobot, but it's still not the most intimidating of symbols. But yeah, I kind of see what they're going. The silver's quite nice on there. Finally, our ambulance. So, surprisingly, that flips up. This whole bit here flips down. And then you have the feet of the ambulance there. That's going to be tricky to balance. These are the arms. And then the head is buried under here. What the heck? Okay, I think we've got a new winner for worst transformation. I mean, that's ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. I mean, it's got some nice detailing. That's quite a nice bit of detailing. And you can see that they've made an effort with that bit to put, as though he's got cannons on there. But really, you can barely see the guy's head in there. How's he meant to see out of that? He's got no peripheral vision at all. And there's going to be in perpetual darkness in there. That's pathetic. That does then go back down like that to create a kind of a heel, so at least he's not going to fall over. But, oh my God. That's pathetic. So, yeah, Cyrene and Glide are pretty terrible transformations. Wow. So I thought that Glide was going to be bad, but Cyrene is something else. That really is bad. Interesting. I think really it's these two that are the best robots. Yes, you've got the slightly unexpected hood transforming at the back, but actually it doesn't compromise the robot at all. They've clearly got arms that are visible. The F1 car isn't too bad, but because of this bulky bit at the back here, he is inherently unstable. Fire engine guy, again, it's not too bad at all, but because the arms, I think, of what is why, great English. I think it's because the arms, which are just disproportionately thick, is why he doesn't quite work. But yeah, these two are terrible. I mean, what were they thinking? Best bit is you've already got Fix-It, an ambulance Micromaster. Why not copy that? I guess they wanted to do something different, so we give some credit for that. But yeah, anyway. All right, on to the combiner mode of these guys away. Start off with, you discombine it from the plane. Pretty simple. That actually becomes a gun now. You can kind of see how it's a gun. Okay, so on to the feet. These guys form the feet. Transform them back to their Micromaster mode to begin with. So put him as the left. Well, that'd be the right foot. Hold there. They are, of course, all reasonably interchangeable. That goes up. Little hole there. Well, actually, it doesn't go up. It stays like that, so you have the hole like that. This guy is also the other foot. Thank God, because it means we could get him out of this mode. What were they thinking? Anyway. Right, like so. Check they're both the same height, they are. Now, the reason those are actually like that is because you've got little hole there, and these actually connected to the leg part, which is here is the connection. So you just put it in like that. And then again, like that. Pretty straightforward. this hooks straight into there, actually, as it did from the offset, to make the torso. Okay, what do you want to do next? Shall we do the arms? Yeah, let's do the arms. So for the arms, we are using the Lamborghini and the F1 car. Okay, this is where this bit comes in handy, because this part becomes the arm piece. No, this doesn't come on. This part is the bit that hooks into the body. So you want to have this part of him down, otherwise he doesn't have much in the way of arms. This is actually his fist. We want it on this side, so we want to use the other fist, I think. Or do we? It's a bit tricky trying to figure out which goes where here. If we have it like that... No, that's the wrong way around. There we are. So that's the fist in. Not meant to sound as dodgy as that, but there we are. And then this bit goes in like so. Not the most effective of arms, it has to be said. And with these wings sticking out here, he has a very, very limited range of movement, unfortunately. This guy is the other. He has very similar problems. Okay, so this bit has to connect into there, so you have to have that like that. This bit here becomes the arm. So put that out. Actually, that bit hooks into the top there. That bit hooks into there again. The arms really don't do it for me here. So it all works and everything. You've got that bit there, but again, it just gets caught on there. He's got a little bit more movement here than he has there, but it's still really limited in terms of his movement. Gun. That's not a problem there. Pop the head on. So the head, you've actually got that piece, which slots on there. Head can rotate, but it has no up or down articulation, and the legs have no articulation. There we are. We're done, are we? Well, we've still got two left. Where do they go? Well, there's a gaping hole in our guy's 6 turbos chest and stomach, so I guess that's where these guys fit in. Because you might be able to see at the back here, there's a slight hole. You probably can't, but this is where this guy fits in. So, the idea with this is that he fits in like that. So he's this way around, so that you have the chest exposed there, and that part hooks into this like so. That's now filled the hole. Strictly speaking, you don't need the 6th member of the Combiner team to make the robot. He fits at the back, but as you can see, there's nothing that he's actually going to add into it. He actually slots in there. We'll pop him in, of course, because we've got him. He all fits in, so why not? Right, so he's almost bent double how he fits in, like so, and then that bit fits in to there, so that slots up into there, he says. No, it's actually even more bent than that. There we are, that's how it goes in, like that, all the way round. So you've got a very small piece like so, and it actually slots in like so. So it kind of fits in at the back there, but it does nothing to the front at all, so it's kind of a not needed piece, but never mind. There we are, that is 6 Turbo. Well, it's a nice gimmick. There are a few 6 builders. We've covered, strictly speaking, I think it's called 6 Builder, but it's really Devastator, as Micromasters that's been done. And that's 6 Turbo. Yeah, it kind of works. Height-wise, well, that's Legends Titan Return Blur. Little bit taller. I can see where they're going with it. You know, the idea that the micros can combine into a transformer-sized robot, for want of a better word. The movement being very limited is perhaps not that uncommon of the time. We all remember Powermaster Prime from, well, that would have been a year earlier, and the fact that he could waggle his arms up and down, and that was pretty much it. This guy has got very limited, even more limited movement than that. If we fiddle around with this, extend this arm out as much as we can, he can move his gun up, but he can never point it directly in front of him because we have to put it at a side. So he can raise his arm up, but you have to have them at an unnaturally wide angle to make it work. Kind of looks like he just wants a hug. I just want a hug. But yeah, it just looks a bit silly. That, I think, is the most disappointing part, the fact that you've got these wings on here that stick out so much that they really hinder his arm movement. Otherwise, it's not a bad idea. I quite like him. Thank you very much for watching. See me on the next review. Why not click and subscribe? And we'll go over some more Transformers later. Thank you. Goodbye.